Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Tahari Talks, where we'll be talking about the reasons why you feel different from everybody around you and the ways that you know that you are different, and most importantly, things that you can do about navigating or coming to terms with those differences. As with the previous 2 episodes, thank you so much for tuning in and being receptive to this new series. I'm so glad that you're here, and thank you for coming back. If you're new here and this is your first time tuning in to Tahari Talks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out. We'll be getting into all things relevant to this walk of life and how to navigate it. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the ways that you know that you are different. First and foremost, let's be clear, no two humans are the same. Everybody is different, but there are certain people that just feel like other humans understand one another, they get one another, and I just feel like the black sheep. I feel like I stick out like a sore thumb everywhere I go. I don't feel like I have found my people, my person. If that's you, you're who I'm talking about. The first reason why you feel so different from everyone around you is because you are. We're not even gonna waste this as one of the 5 reasons, because that's a given. You click this video because of the feelings that you've probably been feeling your entire life, and it's simply because you are different. And if events and feelings did not occur in order to make you aware, how would you know? How would you know that something's not right here? I don't look like everybody else around me. I don't feel like everybody else around me. I'm different. Those things, those feelings have to come up so that, one, you can know that, all right, what works for everybody else doesn't necessarily work for me, and so that you can figure out what does work. Jumping straight into the reasons, the first way to tell that you're different from the people around you is you shift the frequency of the rooms that you enter into. What do I mean? People stop when you walk into a room. People feel you when you walk into a room and you haven't even said any words. They hear you, they see you, they feel you, because things change. People may be talking trash before you enter a room, but then they sit up a little straighter when you come in because you're the type of person that commands the best of the people around you or that are in the room with you, and people can feel it all over you. Energy is everywhere. Energy is ever flowing. Energy never dies. And if you can't hear what a person is saying or understand what they're saying, you can feel through energy what that person is emitting. You ever been somewhere or walked into a room where you may have 1 or 2 friends at the kickback or at the function, or if you're corporate, you walked into a meeting and you just feel literally a shift in energy in the room. You were the combustion for that shift 9 times out of 10. And so yeah, walking that power, baby, you change the frequency and the energy in rooms that you enter. Need I say more? The second way that you know that you are simply different from the people around you is if you stand out in your family, your friends, your workplace. If you just stand out, it may be phenotypically that you stand out. It may be your personality, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. If you stand out in any way, you're gonna feel that. And usually the family feels it and will speak on it too. In my case, growing up on one side of my family, I hate that colorism can be such an example that so many people understand, but in the black community, if you're part of that community, then you know how prevalent it is. I'm the brownest, darkest, skinniest thing that side of my family has produced. And they made sure that I knew how different I was based on commentary, based on conversation that they made sure that I was hearing. I remember specifically one time, all of the women in my family were standing around one another in a restaurant, and another family member, we're not going to talk about how strange and weird this is, but a male member that had gotten married into the family said, all of y'all have those nice full insert last name legs. Y'all all have those legs, and walks by literally one by one woman and stops at me and is like, except for you, you don't have them. Aside from the fact that this was a strange occurrence and situation all at once, it was one of the many, or one of the more overt illustrations of how much different I was than everybody in my family. Or growing up, they would be like, we're all like XYZ, you're not like that. Or why are you this way and we're this way? And if on my home front, confidence wasn't instilled into me the way that it was, I'm sure that those things would have taken a toll on the confidence that I have today and the confidence that I've built throughout the years. That's more of an extreme example, but I'm sure that if we commented all of the stories of the ways that we were made to stand out and feel different in our families, we could go on and the comments would never end, because I'm sure you can relate if this video and this topic is for you. But I got a question. If you were never made to feel different and stand out like a sore thumb in your family, if nobody ever ostracized you, if your family never said, hey, you're different, hey, you're this, hey, you're the other, and we are XYZ, how else would they identify the sent one? How else would they identify the one who was sent here to break the generational curses? How else would they identify that you would be the one to do something different because you are different and you really don't have a choice because you're not like General Pop? The same way that these events and feelings take place so that you can be made known of your differences, they have to occur externally as well so that everybody else even knows. That one right there, she's different. And not everybody is comfortable with that. So a lot of times that manifests as the insecurities of older adults projecting onto children, teens, young adults. Like, it really has no age limit on it. If somebody sees that you got something special on you and it stirs them up, makes them feel a way, why wouldn't they try to make you feel a way about those differences? Here's another hypothetical, taking myself out of the equation. To say that you come from a family where everyone overeats, hypertension, obesity, diabetes, heart failure, all of those things run rampant in your family. You, on the other hand, for some reason, you just feel drawn to finding information and learning. You have to do it on your own because nobody has taught you how to do this. But you're different. You like exercise, you like eating healthy, you like learning about those things, and everybody in your family ostracizes you for it.
I mean, if you're in the family anyway, you're probably just gonna get what our genes do. That's just how we are. We're just big boned. Illnesses just run in our family, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Why do you eat that? What is that? That's strange.
Things of that nature. But if they never brought out those differences and if they never ostracized you for it, how else would you know that you're the generational curse breaker? How else would you know that you're the one that's meant to change the trajectory of the health for your bloodline, for all the future generations to come after you? The change starts with you. How else would you know that? You wouldn't. The third way that you just know that you are not like the rest of the people around you is that you're sensitive. And when I say that you're sensitive, I don't mean in a way that so much trauma has taken place that everything triggers and bothers you. But I mean sensitive in a way that you may identify as an empath. Sensitive in a way that you pick up everything, that you can be in a room and feel when something is off and feel when things aren't right. Sensitive in a way that you're keen to the emotions and the energy of other people. Again, growing up, I was always picked on because I was so sensitive. And because I didn't know what it was and I hadn't cultivated and learned how to control it, I would cry about everything and I hated it about myself. Like, I remember being little and just being like, God, why did you make me like this? Why did you make me so sensitive? But as I'm growing and as I've grown and what I'm realizing that I'm called to do, I'm just like, oh, I had to be sensitive, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be so finely tuned into the emotions of others in order to be able to connect with them in a way that the average person cannot. And a lot of times when you have that high level of sensitivity, then you also have a high level of emotional intelligence, because emotions and sensitivity go hand in hand. Like, I remember being younger, and if my aunts or anybody had to take care of me, they'd be like, here Bri go with that crying again. But now that I'm an adult, it's like, yeah, here she is with that again, because it gives people a different level of sensitivity in themselves. Like, I just can't say anything and I just can't do anything because sis is going to feel it a little different. And in a way, it hardened me, because when I became an adult, I used to feel like even the worst thing could happen and I don't cry about it. Like, I remember my grandfather passing away, and for a long time after the funeral, I would not cry, because those messages of, you're weak if you cry, you're so sensitive, just get over it, were just on replay in my mind. It's like, no, it's healthy to cry. You do need to cry so that you can properly grieve over this man that you love so much. And so I had to start to break that down and go from the feeling of, God, why did you make me like this, to it's okay to be like this. It's okay. The fourth way that you know that you are so different is because the widely accepted norms, the ways of the culture, the ways of right now, what everybody thinks is cool, trendy, and fun to do, they just do nothing for you. You don't really like the music everybody like, the clothes they like, the things that they like to do. You're not really into that. It's because, again, you're not meant to like and do what everybody else likes to do and does. I feel like that one speaks for itself. The fifth way to tell that you're just different from the flock is that a lot of times you feel yourself isolated. And the reason for that is you're simply a vessel. I'm going to explain and talk more about being a vessel later on in the video when I get to what to do about it and how to navigate the feelings of feeling so different from everyone else around you. But if you find yourself isolated a lot, it's simply because you're a vessel. And when you're a vessel, you have to be able to hear from God, and you cannot do that when you're distracted by outside noise and always being surrounded and always being in the mix and always being in the midst of noise. You cannot hear what you need to hear and feel what you need to feel and meditate on the things that you need to meditate on when you're always in the mix. You have to be isolated, because if you're always worried about this person's drama and this person's mess and being at this and that function and outing, always in conversation, always with loud music going on, you're never still to hear instructions, guidance, the things that you need to be saying and doing. That never occurs, because you're always on go with black noise filling your brain. I just made black noise up. White noise is when everything is calm, so I assume black noise is the opposite. We're gonna go with it. So I wanted to move through those 5 reasons really quick because I wanted to get to the problem solving piece of it all. If you click this video, it's because you didn't wake up yesterday and know that you're different. You've been navigating and fighting through these feelings all of your life. So at least 2 of the 5 probably resonated with you. Now, you'll learn on Tahari Talks that I don't like to just talk about what the issue is, but I want to get into the meat of what you can do about it. What do I do with this information? What now? What next? And the first way to navigate your differences is to affirm yourself. I don't care if that looks like writing it on a mirror or writing it on post-it notes and posting it all over your house, your car, your locker if you're a student, wherever you need to make sure that you're going to see it. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am strong. I am wise. I am creative. I am beautiful. Whatever that may look like, the things that you need to be reminded that you easily forget. Affirm yourself constantly. So affirming yourself, of course, happens from the inside, but on an external tip, the next thing that you can do and that you need to do in order to navigate your differences is to find community. Find those people who do resonate with you. Y'all may not share blood. They probably wouldn't be somebody that you would think that you would connect with on that level, but find community. If you're into a certain topic, find groups or organizations where that's their thing. If it's a certain faith and you don't know anybody of that faith, find a religious organization where you feel like you can be fed. And that doesn't have to be physical. If there's a topic that you want to know more about, your mentors don't have to be people that you know and can pick up the phone and call. It can be people that you find on the internet, the books that you read, documentaries that you see. Those are ways that you can build your own sense of community without having to ever step foot outside your door. Although I do recommend that you find a physical community, it's not necessary. Next, you have to find ways to build your confidence, specifically to build your confidence in your differences. When insecurity takes over and it trumps all in your life, you never arrive at your full potential. And what that in turn means is that you never arrive at the place where you're doing the will of God. Life can be really complicated. It can be messy. We all know that. But one thing that is for sure that is very simple is that the reason that God puts us all on this earth is to carry out his will. And we do that through finding what our purpose is and excelling in whatever that purpose is. We do purpose the best when we're at our best. And so the negatives of life, the insecurity seeds that are planted and grow bigger and bigger as you grow bigger, the fear that is planted in you and grows bigger and bigger, the negativity that's planted in you and grows bigger and bigger as you grow older, those are the things that try to ensure that we never arrive there, that we never arrive at full purpose, and that the will of God is never carried out, that you're never fully happy, that you're never fully satisfied or fulfilled. It doesn't happen when you're not confident. And so my advice for that would be to build confidence in your differences. Instead of constantly running from them and trying to shun them and put them to the back burner and stuff them in the closet and put them under wraps, uncover them, get to know them. They're not going anywhere. If they're truly a part of you, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So you might as well get comfortable with them and find ways for them to flourish. Make your prayer become, God, show me the strength in my differences. Show me the reason for my differences. Show me the purpose in my differences. Is it to connect with other people with the same differences? Is it to help me carry out a certain task? Show me the reason. Show me the strength in them. Next, and this is something that I had to learn, use your words. I used to feel like when people said things to me or whenever they insulted me, things that I knew that I was confident in, that I just had to let them have it and say whatever. There is a way to stand up for yourself and defend yourself without being confrontational and still being able to protect your peace. Use your words. If you don't like something that somebody is saying to you, stand in that. It's okay to speak up for yourself. And every time you do, your back is a little straighter and saying, you know what, there's nothing wrong with XYZ. I'm cool on that. And it puts the ball back in the other person's court to say, why did I even feel the need to address her that way? Why did I feel the need to say that? And maybe if they have the emotional maturity, that will help them to even self-reflect and take some accountability to figure out there's a reason why I'm projecting onto them. But we're not worried about them. We're worried about you. Speak up for yourself. If something bothers you enough, and I'm not saying speak on every little thing, because again, protecting your peace is the main priority, but if you don't like something, speak up for yourself. Use those words. Just like we tell toddlers to use your words, use yours. You are not voiceless. Going along that same line, another way to navigate your differences is to establish boundaries. When you're different from the people around you, there are going to be a lot of times where you have to establish boundaries with those people to make sure that, again, you are protecting your peace and you are protecting yourself. Boundaries really could be a whole talk in and of itself. So if you have weak boundaries, let's get to work on that soon, because boundaries will change your life. Boundaries will save your life. I really do hope that this talk resonated with you. If there are any other ways that you have learned to navigate the differences that you carry that have really become your strengths and become the beauty of who you are as a person, leave them in the comments below. Drop them so that other people can read them and gain strength from them as well. When this topic was dropped on me, I was really wishing that I would have recorded it further before Thanksgiving, because I know that a lot of people are entering into environments where they're triggered, where they're reminded of the differences. They're around family and friends that they may not have seen in a long time. They're around people that they don't really identify with or feel connected to, and it may leave them feeling like, what do I do with these feelings? But I know that God's timing is literally perfect. So I think that rather than preparing viewers to go into Thanksgiving with these tips and tools, I think that it was meant for y'all to have it on the back end so that you could come to peace with whatever may have happened at Thanksgiving, or whatever negativity may have happened, or whatever feelings that may have resulted from that gathering, or that thing that maybe your aunt said that you didn't say anything about. You might have laughed it off or smiled it off in the moment, but it really did bother you, or that question that they asked you that you really didn't like, but you brushed it off, or maybe you blew up, maybe you turned the Thanksgiving feelings in a rut. I don't know, but hopefully the things and the pointers that I gave as far as navigating through those emotions can help you to sit a little better with yourself. Before we end the video, I do want to say a quick prayer for everybody who is watching this. So let's get straight into it. Y'all know the drill. God, I thank you for every single viewer that has taken the time to click this video. You showed it to them for a reason. I thank you for guiding them here. Thank you for their life. Thank you for making them so unique. Help them to see just how dope they are. Help them to see just how fire they are. Help them to know that you made them with the differences that you made them with for a reason. Help them to see with a clear eye view the purpose for those differences, things that you want them to do with those differences. Help them to feel settled in their spirit about those differences. God, I bind every I wish I was, I wish you just, I wish I could just, because we know that just how you made them is just enough, and that where they are now in their development journey is exactly where you would have them to be, and that it only gets better from here, because they only continue to grow better in you by doing the work, and simply by watching this video. That is part of doing the work. So we thank you for that. Continue to guide them, continue to keep your hand on them as only you can, and we thank you even now for what you're about to do in their lives, and it's in your name we do pray, amen. That talk just really gave me the feels. Like, I really feel like this touched and helped somebody who was feeling like it was just them, because a trick of the enemy is to make us feel like we are the only ones, nobody else feels this way. And one of the main pillars of this series is to help you to realize that it's not just you. The people just don't talk about it, but here we're going to talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Tahari Talks. Please share this with a friend, a family member that you feel like it may help. It won't be long before there's another. Share some love in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.